Meanwhile, the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, has conducted a full-scale flood response simulation exercise in Ogbaru local government area of Anambra State as part of its proactive efforts to enhance national preparedness and response capacity. The exercise, held along the banks of the River Niger, was led by the Director General of NEMA, Mrs. Zubaida Umar, who emphasized the urgent need for early action and coordinated efforts by all stakeholders to mitigate the impacts of flooding in Nigeria. Speaking at the commencement of the exercise, Mrs. Zubaida Umar noted that flooding remains one of the most recurrent and devastating natural disasters in the country, with far-reaching impacts on lives, livelihoods, infrastructure, and the entire communities.
What I want to say is what you've seen on display is how we can coordinate. We started from the local emergency management committees and moved to the SEMAs before we got to NEMA and the federal government in general. And what we need states to understand is that all disasters are local, and we have to have local emergency management committees who are always the first responders. And when they're overwhelmed and cannot handle situations, we move to the State Emergency Management Agency. And once the State Emergency Management Agency is overwhelmed, then the NEMA steps in. That is the federal government stepping in. So we all need to take responsibility of what needs to be done. Anambra is actually a high-risk state, and we deliberately chose Ogbaru so that we can have the river clearly, and we know what we're meant to do. You've seen from the simulation exercise how everything is being coordinated. The purpose of this simulation is for us to identify where our gaps are, as you've seen today. And I think we've done that. We can understand where the gaps are and what we need to do to improve.